Hi y'all, I'm Allison. This is Bingo Maze, and I have 3 days to get 3 bingos if I want to win the perks for my regular monthly TBR games and have some blanks to add to the board the next time it is reset. Now if you're new to this, Bingo Maze is a mini readathon game. Each of these colored discs has a prompt on it, and to proceed through the game, I actually have to read the book that it directs me to. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be a long video, so get comfy. I've got a lot of reading to do over the next 72 hours, which my little clock will be counting down for us. And during phase 1, by the way, I'll have a link here if you want to see how we got here. I didn't get any bingos. There's not a single bingo on this board. So got my work cut out for me. Got to get 3 of them before we run out of time. If you missed phase 1, you may not be aware that I changed the rules quite dramatically. So we are no longer following the numbers. We're going to be following colors. So let's pop on over into the other room, find out what my first prompt is going to be. I'll get some stuff taken care of, and then we'll come back and start the clock. Let's go ahead and drop the disc, find out what color, or maybe I'm going to have a directional card that we're going to be starting with. You ready? I'm going to go, let's go here. That was a quick bounce. All right. Just one. We're going to be starting with the color orange. Let's go back to our board and see how many we have to choose from. Okay, here's our board. So orange. It looks like a no-brainer. We could go with this one, or this one would be a good option too. But this gives me just 1 left in this row for a bingo. And this one would set me up for 1 there, and it would help with the diagonal. Since they both have 2 in the row, I'm gonna take the corner. Go off the beaten path a little bit. Hopefully I won't regret this. Oh, it was a good choice. We already got our first blank. So let's go. I gotta move the camera again. Let's go back over there, get another color, and find out. Maybe I can get pink and have a bingo before I even read the first book. How awesome would that be? I should have marked the floor. I don't know where I put the camera last time. Okay, are you ready? We get a second color. And that was the last blank on the board. I got 1 during phase 1, and there was only 2 this time. So, okay, let's go over here this time. Is that the same slot? No, I think it was over 1. And we get green. I think it was pink on the top. Okay, back over there. Okay, by the way, I don't think I clarified. If I get my 3 bingos, I get 1 blank for when the board's reset. So, a lot of work for 1 blank. Anyway, green. Oh man. I was going to say I chose wrong because I could take this green and then I would have had a bingo, but it wouldn't have worked that way because that one was blank. We wouldn't have been. Anyway, okay. Did we go with the no-brainer this time? I think we will. I think we'll go with this one. And if you watched, I never put that on. If you watched phase 1, you'll know that this was the one that I didn't even read the book last time, and I swapped it out. So there's a chance it might be the same prompt as before, or it might be a new one. So it's kind of fitting that this is our first spot today. And our prompt, it came back. It's the exact same prompt. Just spin it. Pull new prompt. Yeah, it's a spoiler for the end of phase 1. I had to do this, and I never read the book. I just let the time go out. Okay, so we're just going to pull new prompt. God. I'm going to take from here. Or should I take from the front? I'll take from the front. I don't know. Please let this be something I can use. Two-faced. 2 or more POVs. Okay, I can work with that. Now, ideally, one of my books from this month's TBR will fit this prompt because ultimately I would like to make a lot of progress on this stack. These are my July books. All of these are the extra challenges that I haven't finished. And the other stack is from February's TBR that I do have a challenge on Storygraph for. So I've got a lot of books to look through. All right, I found one in my TBR. This is actually June Just Spin It book, I believe. And it's Killer Instincts by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, part 2 in the Natural series. So this one we're going to have dual POV of a Cassie, who is our main female character, and also the serial killer. So Cassie is part of a group that the FBI is actually working with. It's a group of teenagers. They all have their own special talents, and Cassie is good at profiling. And this one, they've got a new serial killer to deal with, and it looks like it's going to be a copycat of one of the others in the group, his incarcerated father, a man whom Dean would do anything to forget. So they're going to be forced to go deep into the murderer's psyche before it's all over. So this should be really good and really intense. The Naturals, this one, I really enjoyed it. It is a lot darker than I expected, but so good. So this will be my first book. I'm going to go have some lunch. So you will see me one other time because I'll come in and officially start the clock. I'm not starting it yet. This is pre-game time. I'll get some things done, eat some messy nachos, and then pick up my book and start reading for the rest of the day. Okay, I will see you very, very soon. Go get a snack, but pause because it'll be like that for you. So apparently the best way for me to be productive is to do the pregame spin on Bingo Maze, because every time I do that and I say I'm going to go eat and then I'll come back and we'll get started, I end up doing so much during that time. So it's actually been 4 hours now. I've made 3 thumbnails, updated Storygraph. By the way, I finally made the challenges for June and July on Storygraph. If you want to use my Just Minute prompts, they are available. And yeah, I've just been taking off the boxes, getting everything done except for starting my readathon. And look, Jack is here. He wants to say hi. Actually, he just wants to steal my chair, but I thought I'd let him say hi to y'all. Isn't he pretty? Phase 2 has officially begun. I am going to go read Killer Instinct, and when I finish, I will come back and let you know what I think about it, and we'll find out what our next color will be. All right, I will see you when I'm done, or I'll check in tonight before I go to bed. Either way, bye. Good morning. I just wanted to check in with y'all, let you know what I'm thinking of the book so far, and show you how much progress I've made. I quit at 1:30 and went to bed, and I made it all the way up to page 164 last night. I did stay up a little later than normal. Also got some laundry done. Yay! Which I've been really bad about. So I got that far in, and I've done a little bit of reading this morning, not too much, even though it's already like 11 o'clock. But that's okay. I eased into my day, and I am really enjoying this. Especially, you've basically got 2 stories going on, because the dynamics between this group of 5 teenagers, they all have their own special talents, you know, being naturals. It's not a magic system. They're just they've honed these abilities. And so it's their inner dynamic with each other. They do live in like a boarding house kind of setting, with the adults in the house being tied to the FBI. They're supposed to be solving cold cases or helping with cold cases. So you've got all of their interrelations with each other and their own particular backstories that are being divulged as you go through. And I really like it because the characters just feel like they have so much depth to them. And you're like, okay, that's why they do this. And this is why a level was just revealed between the 2 boys. And I was like, oh. So you can tell that Jennifer knows her characters in and out. She actually knows how they're going to respond to situations instead of just surface writing. I'm sure you get what I mean. You know, when you really get to know the characters, that you can tell, you can feel it from an author, and she knows this group. She's spent a lot of time thinking about them, I think, what makes them tick. Anyway, sorry, it's just I'm geeking out on the character depth for 5 teenagers in a murder mystery. And the second hot side of it, of course, is the case that they're trying to solve itself. And it's just, you know, I'm over here going, okay, well, it could be this, it could be that. And I'm falling for some red herrings, but they're being dished out very, very slowly. The only thing is, I don't know that I would necessarily qualify this as a dual POV. According to AI, it was. I do have a dual POV tag in Storygraph, and this book wasn't on there, and I can see why, because the second POV is supposed to be from the killer, but the pages are so few and far between and short that I wouldn't necessarily call it a dual POV. It's more like what's the word I want? It's more like a footnote or an annotation or just an aside. That's what I want. It's like an aside to the story, because you'll be reading along for God knows how many chapters, and then you get one page from the bad guy's point of view. So even though it's not a traditional POV, dual POV, I'm still letting it count because I am this far into it and I'm not stopping now, and it's okay. There are 2 points of view. They just definitely don't get equal screen time. All right, or page time. I am going to stop gushing and go back to reading my book, and I will be back with y'all when I finish it. I would assume, hoping for mid-afternoon. We'll see how it plays out. Okay. It's a little after 3 o'clock. I have 56 and a half hours left, and I finished the book. I finished it about 30 minutes ago, so I made my deadline. I think I was hoping to finish by 3, and I actually did it because I was focused. But this was so good. If y'all haven't read the Natural series and you want a murder mystery thriller kind of thing, I highly recommend it. I am really enjoying it. The first one, I was expecting it to be more along the lines of Karen McManus, and these are a little bit darker, although I didn't find this one as dark as I did the first one, and maybe that's because I was expecting a little bit of a grittier story, so either it wasn't as dark as that other one, or the other one just wasn't as dark as I thought, because I was expecting something with a more surface level of violence. I don't know if I'm making sense, but absolutely loved it. And I love these characters. So good. And the mystery itself was all the way to the end. I was like, oh, okay. So some of my theories actually panned out, which I was surprised, because I kept getting thwarted every time I was like, oh, it's got to be. And it's like, no. Which is the marks of a good mystery. It kept me wondering the whole way through. Okay, I am done rambling on. Let's move over to the board, find out what our next color is going to be, and see if I can get my first bingo. And then I'm going to have lunch. I'm hungry. Look, Finley's here. He doesn't want me to hold him that way, though. I had to put him down real quick. Okay, let me try it again. There, I surprised him. He says hello. He hasn't seen y'all in a while. He's waiting for his dinner. Yes, he is. Okay, I'm going to put him down. We'll find out our color. Okay, let's drop it. Let's go here. All right, and we get... Oh, we're doing some directions. Flip last number and follow arrow. Okay, so the arrows are leading me. I don't get a choice. Wait, let's move first. I always try to keep the clock in the background for y'all. So our last number, I didn't move my marker. That's what this is, by the way. It's to help me remember where we were. But I know we were on number 10 because of the whole deal with having to replace that prompt, blah, blah, blah. But I was hoping I would be able to pick one of those colors. Maybe it'll lead us up. Maybe. Okay, ready? Well, it leads us up, but not the right direction. So picture this row over here like a cylinder. So that is pointing to actually number 14. I get an orange and I get the right row, but it's the wrong end. Although it does actually get us started over here finally. Adult. How open is that? I love that because a lot of my prompts have been specific lately, so this one just gives me free range. And I have a lot of short books on my list this time. So let me go back one. Absolute no-brainers. I've got 2 little 84 Charing Cross Road. This was the winner of our poll, the vote that we held from Just Spin It. It's a short epistolary nonfiction. I think everybody's pretty much familiar with it. And I have a short little novella. It's a prequel for a Matthew Pearl series or book. And according to Storygraph, it's only 60 pages, but ebooks sometimes they're longer. Either way, it is a novella. So it's The Professor's Assassin. So I could go for kind of sweet, cozy vibes. Well, not sweet, but endearing. That's the word I want. Or I could do a prequel. This is going to be another thriller. It's a professor, and there's a murder at the University of Virginia, and it's set in 1840. So it's kind of like a forgotten cold case, or may have been solved. Completely polar opposite of each other. This is actually my buzzword book for July. Professor, it's the job. So since those 3 challenges that I do, buzzword covers, and LD adventures, are supposed to be priorities for me for the year, and I'm behind on all of them, I'm going to choose this over the Just Spin It book, even though this is but it'll be fun to do a short novella. So I should be back with y'all pretty soon, except I'm going to eat lunch first, and then I'm going to start reading. So it might take a little bit longer. I'm going to say 2 hours. We'll see how that plays out. Well, the only good thing I can say is I finished it, and I think it's going on 6 o'clock. So not too much time has gone by. A little bit, because I did eat and everything. But it was a big disappointment, unfortunately. And I think the problem was that it was a novella. If it had been a full-fledged out book, I bet it would have been really good. But the dialogue just felt very forced and stiff, and it went from plot point to plot point, like, oh, okay, now we've got the riots. Oh no, somebody's going to be shot. Oh no, we have to go catch them. So it read more as a draft of a book than an actual book. It took me longer than it should have. I kept nodding off. I kept falling asleep. And it was only 87 pages. So actually, I think it was 61 for the total story. And then there was like a couple of chapters from Technologist, which this is supposed to be a prequel to. I think the only thing, and it's got slavery. The way that's handled is just bad. The whole school environment was bad. The students are rioting because they want the right to bear arms, because they know that the South trouble is coming for the South with the abolitionists. So they've got that in there, and the professors in the university has some slaves, and the slaves are all kind of happy to be slaves, and it's just a train wreck. It's the professor who shot the family doesn't want them to be persecuted, and it's historical base. So they took it from, it actually happened at the University of Virginia, and the names of the characters, everything is all supposed to be from actual documents, and it is a dramatization of it, but it was just cringe the whole way through. And I think what it is the main guy, Rogers, he's going to be the one, he's a professor in this one, and he's the one who spearheads catching the bad guy. And he's going to be the one who founds MIT in Boston. And I think what it does is pretty much, I think this shows that everything he didn't want MIT to be, and that he was going to do it completely different. So I think that's the only basis for this, other than the fact that this was some obscure assassination that really was never told. And Rogers happens to be tied to both events. So anyway, I'm very, very glad that this wasn't the first book that I read by Matthew Pearl, because I think after that, I would have just unhauled my other books if I hadn't read one of them first, because I absolutely loved the Donze Club. Love that one. So I am curious to see how the Technologist will be. And at least I got that read. So probably way more involved. A little review on that book than y'all were probably honestly interested in. But we can now do the exciting thing. Let's go back over to Just Drop It, find out what my next color is going to be, and actually get the third book that I'll be reading today. Granted, the first one I started last night, but it'll be the third book I've read today. By the way, if I had owned that, the Professor's Assassin as a physical book, I would have unhauled it. But since it's on my Nook, it's fine. All right, let's see which one we're going to get next. Let's go. I don't think I've ever gone all the way over here on the end. And give me the end one. We get yellow. I don't know if we've gotten any yellows before. We have gotten yellow before because we've only got 3 spots left. So now we get to decide where's going to be the best spot to go. That would start that row. That would put that one down to 1. And this would give me for 3. I think I'm kind of tempted to take the 19, or do I start over here in this corner? I'm going to go here because then that'll set me up for another. So all my bingo opportunities are going to be with pinks. Oh, I should have done that one. Then I would have had green. I didn't notice that right away. Oh well. Okay. Bottom of sack, current TBR. Oh, this could be really, really good or really, really bad. Okay, just let me, got to put our marker so we know in case we get a directional one. I am excited that it's my current TBR. I'm just a little afraid to look to see what it is. Oh, okay, wait. We're continuing our mystery theme. Do you see it down here? I'm finally gonna get to read it. Mastering the Art of French Murder, an American in Paris mystery by Colleen Cambridge. This is the first in a series, and our main character, I don't remember what her name is, but she's going to be working with Julia Child, and they're going to solve a mystery out in Paris. So this is going to be like 1950s Paris, I believe. It could have been any of them, but it had to be one of them. Tabitha Knight is our main girl, and I'm not gonna read anymore because you know what? This is also, I wanted to put on a book club. So I got presents to go with it, which means I'll be starting another video. So I will be back with y'all when I'm done reading that book and doing the second video, which will show me reading the book, reacting to it as I get to each sticker, and then we'll open the present. I'm hoping for some good ones since this is like, this should be some cool kitchen stuff for the presents. We'll see. I don't know, but I'm excited. Oh, and it's not a long one. Look, I forgot about that. Isn't that awesome? I like that. There's another mystery. So far, all of my books have been mysteries. I got a theme going. All right, I will be back with y'all when I finish this one. I finished it. I also paused my clock quite a bit because I filmed the other video for Once Upon a Book Club unboxing, giving a little rundown as I went through the book with how it was going for me at the time. So I made my way through, and we got off to a little bit of a rocky start. You know, expectations versus reality. It's always, you know, sometimes it's a bumpy road, but absolutely loved it once I found my groove with it. It'll be right up there with the Philadelphia Bright series for me. I think really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to getting book 2. Okay. Let's go ahead and find out what our next color is going to be. So we go over there. Oh. Sorry, Lily was right behind me. I almost fell over her. She's right here, and I didn't know she was there. All of the animals have followed me because to them, I was on my way to the kitchen to feed them because it is their dinner time. So we stopped. We did a pit stop, and they're everywhere. Okay, let's drop this, find out what our next color is going to be so I can feed them. Okay, let's go here. Actually, let's go in the middle. And we get, feels like there's more than one green. I also had Finley trying to figure out how to get to me from the table. The table's right here. Okay, let's go back to the board. Pick a green spot. I think we might get a bingo. Oh, for the record, my clock is currently yeah, it's currently paused because I did just finish doing the video for Once Upon a Book Club, and I paused it during each part of that. And I'm going to leave it paused because after I do this, I'm going to feed the animals, and then I'm going to take my mom and we're going to go pick up a pizza. And after I eat, then I'll come back and I'll start the clock again. Okay, green. Darn it, I thought we were going to have a... I jumped the gun with my celebration. I really thought green was... Oh, that's what it was. If I had taken that 2 last time. So we're going to take this green. That way, only got 1 spot left there. Okay, what are we going to get? Oh, no. Let's move our little marker. 2026 TBR jar. And I gave myself a reminder. It's the orange papers. By the way, if you've ever wondered about my multicolors, each year has a different color because I thought eventually I could just throw it all into one big jar and then I could do the year by the color. Anyway, I need to stop stalling. I'm a little nervous because, okay, I was going to say I'm nervous because the odds of it coming from my list and getting a really long book, you know, could be there. But we're going to do what we did before. If I get a book out of here that is actually on one of those 4 stacks, then I get a free blank because the odds of that, slim to none. In fact, I don't even know if I have any new purchases over there. Okay, I'm going right. Okay, I'll take this one. The Ride. I just bought that. What if this is The Ride? Ready? Damn. Oh, okay. This is actually the Great Mogul Diamond. This is actually part 3. I'm going to swap it out for part 2. Alas, it was not on my TBR, but it's the part 2 in the Doppelganger series, which I just did. I think, was that in the last Bingo Maze or the one before? Anyway, I've read it recently. So the one that I actually got was part 3. So we're just going to substitute part 2. Otherwise, I could be pulling papers forever. And this is really good that it turned up for Bingo Maze because it is a graphic novel. So odds are pretty good that maybe I'll get to pull another color for tonight. Okay, this is what I'll be reading when I get back with my pizza. And that's it for now. So I will see you when I'm done with this book. And I'll have a full tummy. Yay. The jar did right by me because I already finished it. It only took a little over 2 hours. So we did go out and get pizza, which was really good. But I highly enjoyed this. It's part 2 in a trilogy. And I'm happy to report it did not have the second book slump. It was just as entertaining. In fact, I think a little bit more fast-paced than the first one was. And I really love the illustrations in it. I'm not going to gush about it too much because even though I absolutely love it and I'm giving it 5 stars, I don't think you can find these anymore. It was hard tracking down this one in book 3. So these came out, I think, 2009, 2010, in that range. And they're a little hard to come by now. Anyway, if you do happen to have one or run across it at your library, I would highly recommend this series. But let's jump over to Just Drop It and find out what our next color is going to be. We're bound to get a bingo. I mean, we're getting so close. We're lined up in so many ways. I should have one by now. Okay, let's go ahead. And I was like, what am I doing? I don't know. Let's drop it right here. Right to the center. And we get green again. I don't know if green's going to help us this time. Gotta be kidding me. Look, we've got 2 green ones left, and neither will give us a bingo. I thought for sure that, and here I was thinking when I first came up with this idea, like having that much choice and being able to choose whichever color is going to make it too easy. There won't be any challenge. Here we are. I guess. Yeah, both rows both have 3 left in them. So there really is no difference from one to the other. So I'm going to go with, let's go up here. We've been hanging out down here a lot. during this round. Current extra challenge book. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. Extra challenge. This means I get buzzword covers, or LD adventures. And since it's current, that means I have to pick a July book. I believe I've already done, Professor's Assassin that we did earlier was July's buzzword. Buzzword covers was supposed to be something metallic on the cover. And I'm doing the Golden Spoon, which is another mystery, which would continue. By the way, the doppelganger one that I just read, that was a mystery as well. So everything has been a mystery so far. And my LT adventure is a book that I have to read at night. And for that one, I'm doing Rogue, which will finish off the Croak trilogy. As an ebook, it is 8:30 at night. But if I do Rogue, the problem with that is I would have to stay up and finish that book tonight. I wouldn't have any option to finish it tomorrow morning, because my prompt for that is I can only read my book at night. Just going to go ahead and go with the Golden Spoon. Is this a short one? Maybe I can pull this off before I go to bed tonight. It's been a good reading day for me, so we'll see. I don't know. If not, I expect I'll get close. I know it's going to be like a closed room mystery based on the Great British Baking Show, and I think they're going to be in a castle. Yeah, it's a combination of Clue and the Great British Bake Off. That's what it is. Based on that, it should be right up my alley and just a home run, right out of the ballpark. But I don't know, based on the reviews. Anyway, instead of talking about it, I'm going to go scamper off and read this. It said it's about 8:30 at night. If I finish it before I go to bed, I will come back and let you know. If not, I will probably see you in the morning. So wish me luck with this one. Good morning. I just wanted to touch base, let you know that I was wrong about this book. I don't know where I heard that it was a flop, because I am enjoying every second of it. It's a solid 5 stars for me so far. I am halfway through. I got to page like 156 last night. Really, really loving it. But I will say, I am a huge fan of reality cooking shows, the competitions. And so far, this is like being behind the scenes of the Great British Bake Off. It's just, I am loving every aspect of it. The Clue part hasn't really kicked in yet. At the beginning, we've got like a little prologue where something happened potentially. It wasn't fully revealed, but it looks like somebody had met their demise or met their end, but it's not confirmed. And then it did like a flashback. So then we went back to the beginning of the week, because the cooking show is a week long. So I have a feeling we're about to get into the Clue mystery part of it all. This is everything up to this point. It's just laying the groundwork, and you have 6 POVs. I am absolutely, no, 7 POVs. 7, because the host is 1. And of course, those points of view diminish as the guests are kicked off the show. One leaves every day. Anyway, I just wanted to come in and say I'm loving it. And for all the times that I said that this book was a potential flop and I wasn't looking forward to it, I apologize. Hopefully I'm not speaking too soon, because, I haven't made it to the end. So we'll see if it manages to keep this momentum. I also wanted to let you know, sorry for blocking the clock. I just got up. Today I will probably, in fact, I know I'm going to do an editing pause at some point today. Otherwise it gets to be just too much. So my phone fills up and then all of that footage, no. So I'm editing as I go. Anyway, I'm going to run off, finish it, see if once the murder mystery part of it kicks in, if it still maintains its awesomeness. All right, bye. I'll see you in a bit. I finished it. I don't know why I was so nervous about this book. I wish I had read it a long time ago. In fact, I wish we had done a buddy read for this one, because I think it would have been really fun to guess our way through it. The first half of it is about the cooking competition. If you've ever watched the Great British Bake Off or whatever it's called, then this is like This is what it would be like to be in that tent with them. And I have to say, I had a hard time of separating Prue and Paul, I think is his name, from the hosts in here, because it was just so in tune with that show. Although this is set in Vermont and it's only a week and there's 6 contestants, so of course it's not actually about the Great British Bake Off, but you know, I definitely had to make the disconnect because I love Prue, and I can't imagine Prue being like our main character in this one. She's a little selfish at times, so we'll just call it that. Anyway, definitely has the Bake Off tie-in. I didn't really see the Clue tie-in towards the latter half of the book. After I checked in with y'all this morning, that's when we started to shift into a little murder mystery thing going. And I would say little, definitely, because it was more about laying it out and then it was all solved. So I don't know if this would actually qualify more as a thriller, because we're not actively trying to solve the case. Everything just kind of happens and you're like, okay, well, the setup for everybody to have done it is there, but there's no actual investigation. I hope that makes sense, because you know, the person who ends up dying there's quite a few people that could have done it. There are multiple motives out there, and we're not, as a reader, brought into any of that. It's just bam, here's the ending. So it was wrapped up really nice and neatly in a red bow, maybe a little rushed on that part of it, but I didn't necessarily mind because I was loving the cooking show aspect of it. So I'm going to give it a 4. It's a debut, and I'm definitely going to look into seeing what other books that Justin Maxwell has written. I highly enjoyed this. I'm really glad I did. Read it. My brain's getting mushy. I did pause my clock, and I'm caught up on all of the editing, so I did that this morning. All right, let's go get our color, because all of my animals are starting to circle. It's got to be close to 3 o'clock. Yeah, it's 3:30, and they eat anywhere from 3 to 4 o'clock. So I'm very popular this time of day. All right, let's go find out what our color is. Surely we're going to get a bingo this time, right? Let's go here. Right at the very edge. It's hard to get just one. Yellow. I think we only have one left. I was wrong. We've got 2. Oh, look! We've got a bingo! Look at the diagonal. Yeah, that's definitely out of the 2 yellows. That's the one I want. We have 1 bingo. We need 2 more. Yes. Okay. Our prompt is cover matches clothes. And we're in red. Oh, wait, we got to mark. That's where we are, in case we get to follow the arrow. I'm in a red shirt, and I have on navy, like lounge pants or whatever you want to call it. So solid red or a solid navy, or predominant color, or the colors on there. There's gotta be on my list, right? Of course, my July TBR, black and gold, or that might be navy, brown, bronze, brown. We've got red lettering. It doesn't seem like much though. This, I think the red and the black, because my navy pants actually look black, so definitely a contender. The reds don't match. It's more like a burgundy, I think. Legendborn has some red and the navy, so I think it comes down to Legendborn and Red Rising. Let's see. Yeah, it's got to be Red Rising, which means we are breaking the mystery streak. Every book up to this point has been a mystery, and now we're going for political, I think it's sci-fi or fantasy. I have really been looking forward to reading this. His wife taken, his people enslaved, driven by a longing for justice and the memory of lost love, Dara will stop at nothing to bring down his enemies. Even he must become one of them to do so. For the first time, red will rise. One heart-pounding ride. Oh, it's a debut. Okay, I am really looking forward to this. I don't know if I'll finish it today. I don't know how long it'll take. It might be, sometimes the sci-fis can take a little longer. I'm going to confirm that it's sci-fi. Yes, I was right. It's a sci-fi dystopian. So this should be a good time. So I'll see you after this one, or unless I need to give you an update. Bye. So I've made it, I think, past the halfway mark yesterday. I am really enjoying it. It's pretty gritty, very cutthroat. And I did see somewhere there has it, yeah, on the back, it compares it to The Hunger Game and Game of Thrones. So I've only read the first book of Game of Thrones, but definitely see the Hunger Game aspect to it, because it gets gritty and brutal, and I am actually really enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to continuing on with it. Hopefully, honestly, I bet it's probably going to take me all afternoon to finish it, because with the world building and all the dynamics of everything, it's a little more, there's just a little bit more to process and take in. And I think for my medicine, I was just thinking about this morning, I think my reading speed has slowed down dramatically, because I don't make near as much progress, it doesn't feel like, during my bingo maze games that I used to. Although today, this round, I think I do have a high volume, but we're not anywhere close to managing I don't think you can see the board. There's 14 hours left on the clock. I've got halfway to go on this. It'll probably take me all afternoon. And if we were to start phase 3 on this board, again, there's no chance for a bingo in 48 hours when you consider that each one of these spots represents a book. So I don't know what's changed. I think it might be my medication. I think the brain's just working at a lower speed now. Plus, I do have, with my mother's dementia, I get interrupted a lot during the day. Life's gotten a little more complicated. So for that reason, I just may decide at some point today that we're just going to extend it another day. I don't know. We will see. Because, I mean, I am caught up on the editing part. So, I don't know. I don't think anybody would mind if our 72 hours is elongated. Maybe I should consider, and tell me what y'all think about this, for future, when we reset the board again, maybe I should just pause it when I go to bed each night, and then recoup that 8 hours of sleeping time every day, because that would add quite a bit, because technically I'm losing a third of it to sleep. So maybe that's something to consider. Okay, I'm going to stop all of my musings, go on and see how this is going to play out, because our main guy, and of course I am blank, Darrow. Yeah, he's at the school. He's doing the test. So it's going pretty good, and I have a feeling it's going to get really, but I'm here for it. Okay, bye. Okay, we've got a situation to address, because it's been, I think, 2 days since I came in last, and I ended up, I had my Red Rising book, and out of the blue, I got very motivated and ended up deep cleaning and decluttering one of the rooms upstairs. And that took me all day. I think I spent 5 hours on it. And as you know, if the mood strikes like that, you gotta run with it. You can't go, oh no, I have to go read. You gotta strike while the iron's hot. So I completely forgot about Bingo Maze and just put my nose down and got some work done. Felt really good to be productive like that. My legs are killing me because I was doing everything kind of squatting, because my knees hurt, so I couldn't kneel. So I did it all in a squatting troll position, and man, did my legs get a workout. And then Finley also had to go to the vet. He's got inflamed gums, and he's also got an infection. So we're dealing with that, and hoping it's going to be a matter of time until his teeth have to be pulled. So we knew this since he was a kitten. No, but right now we're maintaining the status quo. So I did have to take care of him. So anyway, here we are. I am going to jump back into this. I have done some reading on my book, quite a bit. I haven't finished it yet, and I forgot to turn on the clock when I did pick up my book. I have no idea how to adjust the clock. So you know what? We're just going to say, oh well. I'm going to resume my clock, and we're just going to go from here, and you know, it is what it is. So, all things considered. And plus my mom's been a little extra confused, and that of course takes a lot of my day. We have a lot of groundhog moments, repeated conversations and stuff. So worrying about all that, of course, makes it a little difficult to read. So, we're just going to go from here. And I don't think, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to make a difference. I might get my blanks out of this 14 hours that are left. I don't know, because we did get a bingo last time. Oh, I forgot about that. It's what gave me a bingo. But we still need 2 more, and I've only got 14 hours left. It's going on 5 o'clock. So what I'm going to end up doing is when I go to bed, I'm going to pause the clock so it doesn't just run out while I'm sleeping. And then whatever hours are left are, that's what we'll continue on with tomorrow. So I will finish at some point tomorrow. Okay, I am going to go finish this. I am really loving this book. Once I got used to what it actually is. For a while I was kind of like, I don't know. I was thinking it was going to be like a more political, military kind of thing. And this is more Hunger Games, which I knew from the flat, but it took me a little bit for my brain to go, oh yeah, and to embrace the Hunger Games aspect of it. And I am fully invested now. So loving it. Anyway, I'm going to go back and finish this. I did it. I finished it, and I loved every second of it. I really wish I could continue on to the next one, which is Golden Sun, which I don't own. So I'm going to have to get that so I can continue. And it was just so good. It was quite violent, quite dark, and I am all here for it. I think, though, in part 2, we're going to get more into the political aspect of it. This was more like Hunger Games type, you know, survival and warfare, and it was really, really good. So you know what we got to do next? Let's go get a color. All right, I guess let's go on this side of the board. Whoa, we're really on that side. Oh, Finley's here. We get blue. Okay, back to the board. But Finley wants to say hi first. Or not. Oh, wow. We still have a lot of blue on the board. I have to make a choice. Okay, so we have our one bingo this way. I could take this one, and that would get us closer here, and the same there, and that one would help that way. Decisions. Okay, what's going to be the best prompt? I'm not going to do 23 because we already have a pink there. Okay, so I think I'll go 17. Because I think there's 5 of every color over there, which means there's 2 orange. So the odds of orange coming up is higher than the 1 green. If that's how I did it. I don't remember. But we get shortest title, current TBR. Okay. Let's mark our spot. What do you think the odds are that my shortest title will also be my shortest book? I don't know. Okay, so we'll go by one-word title first, and then we'll go by letters. The 84 Charing Cross Road is my shortest one, but it's not a one-word title, so it's eliminated. So it looks like it comes down to Legendborn and Forever. 10 letters? 7 letters. Okay, Forever wins, which is, I'm grateful for that. Also, I am very, very familiar with the cast and the setting in this one because I have read this trilogy countless of times. This is the 3rd one in the Wolves of Mercy Falls by Maggie Savater. And I forgot the font is red, which is really cool. Okay, so I am going to see if I can finish reading this before I go to bed tonight. And I will be pausing the clock when I go to bed. I'll come in and let y'all know probably. If not, I will let you know in the morning. So we have 12 hours from this point. I will probably be going to bed around midnight, a little bit before 8 o'clock. So as it stands, it would be 8 in the morning, with the half of that being during sleeping hours. So it will be paused when I go to bed, and then I'll resume it in the morning. So let me see if I can finish this before bedtime, and maybe we can get another color. Okay. So it's Friday. I read last night, but I didn't finish it. I got about halfway and then I called it a night. I started to read while on the lymphedema machine, but I fell asleep like 10 minutes into it. I was a little too relaxed. It's a really good massage once you get comfy. It takes a while to get comfy, but once you do, you're golden. So anyway, I've got to about the halfway point. I've got 8 hours left. I am going to start my clock, go run off, finish this. Hopefully it'll only take, see if I can do it in 2 hours. I think that might be pushing it, but we'll see if I can focus. Yeah, we'll be back and pick another color. How I could forget about the helicopter scene, I have no idea, but yeah, this book almost made me cry a couple of times. Absolutely loved it, even if at times I was kind of like teenagers. But I reminded myself, they are teenagers, so they're not always going to make the best decisions. And it's not necessarily that they were making bad decisions. I was just getting a little impatient with Sam at times, going, boy, speak up. So anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed it, as I knew I would. This trilogy will always be on my shelves. I'm wavering. I don't know if I want to get number 4, Sinner, which came out a few years after this one wrapped up. Even at the end, she says that this is the end of Mercy Falls, blah, blah, blah. But there's like a companion book about Isabel and Cole over in California. So I don't know if I'm going to do that one. Apparently it's pretty much straight up a romance, and I don't know that it has the fantasy element as much in it. I don't know. So if y'all have read it, let me know if I should get it or if I should just stop here and give Isabel and Cole the happy ever after that I know they end up with. Let's go. How about straight up in the middle? Oh, and it put me in the middle. Pretty cool. But will it give us a bingo? Oh, I knocked cards on the floor, but we got yellow. And there's only one card left in there. There's only one yellow left, so there's no decision. But there's no bingo. Oh, this is when I kind of miss sliding, because we haven't really run into any dead ends. The direction cards haven't shown up much. So, because, you know, dead end sliding might have given me a ton of bingos by now. Okay. It just, Bingo Maze is out to get me. So we got 4.5 hours for me to read a 400 to 499 page book. It's like, man, if it's something short enough, there's a chance I could start another one before the clock runs out. I don't see how I could do that. Okay, this one's 510. So if you're looking for a book over 500. Games Untold, however, which I was supposed to read during phase 1, and I didn't. It was a book that I picked at the end of phase 1 and I never read. And here we are at the end of phase 2. With it in my hand, I'm trying to find the page count. There's a lot of extras at the end. Oh, 3 stories that weren't written for the anthology, but totally could have been bonus edition stuff. So the official count is 434, which falls within my range. I was supposed to read this during phase 1, so it seems kind of fitting that it be my last one for phase 2. This is an anthology of short stories. We're going to start in Prague and then I assume move to Texas. And I know at one point Nash is supposed to be, he's going to be featured in one. Got Love is Dangerous, Love is Salvation, Love is Power, and Family is Forever. So I'm going to read this. I did get it started during phase 2. I am on a whopping page 38. I'm just going to pick up from there, I think. So I will see y'all after this one. I don't think I can read it in 4 hours and 20 minutes. I don't know. We'll see. I highly doubt it, though. Okay, bye. I made a very valiant effort last night. Look, I got to page 292. I stayed up till 1 o'clock. And then I went to bed. I was definitely out of time by then, despite what that says. Because when I had seen it, I had 3 minutes left when I went to bed or something like that, the last time I saw it. So I don't know why it's on 25. There's no telling. But time is definitely over. So I finished this much of it this morning. I love the brothers Hawthorne. Their loyalty to each other and their bond means no matter what, I am going to be thrilled with the books. And these were really good short stories, which, by the way, I typically struggle with. Short stories aren't my jam because I need time to get into the world. But we do have one long story that's like a prequel about Toby, and the shorts are good too. And in fact, one of them propels the grandest game into the next. It adds a little bit to it. So definitely worth reading. Loved it. I'm gonna give it a 5. Let's take a look at the board. This colored version is hard. I was afraid it was gonna be too easy, that there wouldn't be any strategy or any interest to it going this route. But it's vicious. So I only managed to get 1 bingo and I needed 3. So again, I haven't earned any blanks for next time, and I don't get a reward card one more time. So maybe during phase 2, I don't see a blackout happening. I don't see how that would be possible, but maybe I can hit the goal in the next one because we are set up quite a few ways. So I am going to go figure out what's up next, and I hope to see you in the next one because we will definitely be tackling this board again in August. So y'all have a good one. I've talked long enough.